people are creative. We just are. It's how we survive. Not just people, animals of all sorts. We're all creative. And we're creative in many different ways. Creativity is creating new branches between ideas and reformatting, or and taking an idea and just turning it and looking at it from a different angle and applying it from this context to that context. And creativity is awesome. And we're creative in our own different ways, and our worldviews, our lived experiences, influence the way that we're creative, and they constrain it and they funnel it. And I mean, because in a creativity that does not relate to you at all, maybe you can come up with brilliant ideas, but then what good is that if you can't apply it, if you can't remember it? So, the most useful creativity is that is remembered and then can be put to good use. And so this applies between people of different religions or non-religions. Okay, these are shower thoughts, and the reason I'm thinking about this is because I was thinking, when you have religious people unable to relate to the non-religious, the secular, and they think, you have all these weird ideas about how the universe works, or like meta spirituality, and secularists or skeptics or non-religious, they think to the religious, and they're like, what are you talking about? Like, all the stories that you recite, like, these don't make any sense, and the things you think about, they don't make sense. But they're different. They're just different channels for the creativity, where people are trying to make connections. I mean, they're not even trying. They just are always making connections, and they're rethinking about things, and they're simplifying it, and then turning it, and finding parallels in life, and that's awesome. I mean, that's great. And I think people might be able to get along better if they see it through that lens, through the lens of like this drive of being creative. So, bye, buddy. I had some other thoughts, but now I'm out of the shower, so how am I going to remember them? I'm going to wait here for a second and just try to think. Okay. I remember two things that I also thought about in the shower. Okay, so one of them is, the way that we're creative. Here, I'll be creative right now. Oh, how am I holding my phone without, without my other hand? It's my foot. Be creative. And so creativity can be like, you have these different ideas, and they might live in different spots, and this might relate to machines and AI learning too, but you have these different ideas. And if you think about like a graph with all these different dots, like connect the dots. Look, I was just being creative, coming up with an example of how to explain this, because most people don't know about graph theory, and I don't even know about graph theory anyway. You have dots and nodes and edges, and you connect them, and when you have these different ideas over here, but maybe for some reason you want to connect them, and so you just try to find the shortest path, or maybe you have to go back here and then over there. It's like a maze in some ways. Once you have that path, if it is a shorter path, like, oh, that could be great. And maybe it connected through some different ideas to get there. Like it has a good, like a structural pathway. Or maybe it went way out here and came back, and it's like it brought in all this unnecessary stuff. Sometimes when people are being creative and they have ideas and they go like, oh dude, I don't know where you were going to get all the way back there. Like you could have just done that. So that's one thing. Another thing I was thinking about is going back to creativity and religion. I was thinking about back on this this discussion debate I watched between let me straighten that out, between, I think it was Jordan Peterson and Sam Harris, and I believe Peterson said something to the effect of that you can't be an atheist if you have art, or if that you love art, or if you're an artist, and because art comes from religion. And I think that's such an I definitely disagree, but I definitely think that's now I'm thinking about how interesting that is. I keep cutting myself off. That's so interesting, because if Jordan Peterson like has funneled his creativity through religion, regardless of his beliefs, like of the validity of the religion, like if the religion is that avenue for creativity and its flourishing, and that is his framework, like that's where maybe he just thinks that's what creativity is. I mean, I don't want to get into his head, but like maybe that's why. But somebody who is, you know, non-religious like Harris, like, it's like, what are you talking about? That idea doesn't make sense, because you can find beauty just because you find beauty, you see beauty, and then you put the ideas together and you create beauty, and then that can be shared, and that is art. And you don't have to be religious, and perhaps they're using different definitions. This was a while, like at least a year or two ago, that I saw this this talk between these people. But I thought back to that idea of like, your worldview is your framework for creativity. Okay, well, now I'm going to be rambling a little bit too much with the shower thoughts, so I'll just show you my cats. Hey, buddy. This is Pippin. And this is Mary. Oh, and he's gone. All right, bye.